The state of the nation and the issue of kidnapping is something that we are looking at the moment. Kidnapping Lagos, and you risk your life. Perhaps get a life imprisonment or even death. That's according to the executive governor of Lagos State, Akinwumi Ambode, while signing the anti-kidnapping bill into law. When implemented, the law is expected to tame all forms of kidnapping in Lagos. In Edo State, Nigeria's south region, the bill was signed into law by the then governor, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. He also approved capital punishment for kidnapping in 2013. He declared that the death penalty in the state applies to all acts of kidnapping, whether or not it involved murder. Delta State, the Delta House of Assembly also passed the anti-kidnapping bill in 2013 into law, imposing a death sentence on any person convicted of kidnapping in the state. And we had a couple of other states that have that law in place, Kogi State as well as Akwa Ibom, Cross River, a couple of other states that we have. But this evening, joining us to look at the menace of kidnapping and how we can deter kidnappers, Marvel Akpoibo, retired Deputy Inspector General of Police, joins us. He's also a lawyer. Good to have you join us, Mr. Akpoibo. What do you make of this law, particularly that of Lagos State?
Thank you very much for that question. I think it's heartwarming that Lagos State has come up with that law capitalizing the offense of kidnapping. It is the constitutional responsibility of every government to ensure the safety of lives and property of the citizens. And that's exactly what the state government has done, to send a very, very strong signal to the criminal world that it will no longer be business as usual. And of course, it's going to be very deterring now that it carries death penalty where the victim dies in your custody. Of course, the message is clear, and I think it will help to tame the menace in our society. Thank you.
You know, I want to delve into your area of practice, and which is law. Now we understand you are into practicing of law, private practice, which is very key here. How effective can this law be, knowing full well that many countries across the world are looking away from the death penalty?
Well, I think it is important to identify the reasons why the law was passed. We must also clearly identify our peculiar circumstances, and of course, like I said earlier, it will amount to an active responsibility for any government to know or to realize that the lives of the citizens are in danger. And then they will fold their hand because somebody somewhere is saying that there are safeguards against capitalization of offense. Well, if you look at the offense of armed robbery, for example, that has been capitalized, if you compare armed robbery with kidnapping, I wonder which one is much more endangering than the other. You know, an armed robber goes after his victim and momentarily dispossesses him of whatever he has. And if he's not shot dead, of course, he will tell the story of how he was robbed. But the victim of kidnapping will be taken away until ransom is paid. And during that period, he is under agony, severe agony. And we've had cases where lives were lost. So I don't know why anybody will ever raise the issue of conventions that saying that we should not impose death penalty. I think it's the right thing to do in this circumstance, if we must ensure the safety of lives and property of our people.
This is not the first time we've seen a law that gives a death penalty for anyone found guilty. And for many, they still think that this hasn't actually deterred people or deterred criminals. Would you say that this law will push down the rate of kidnapping, especially in the commercial city of Lagos?
Certainly, it will deter those who are involved in the act of kidnapping. If you do not capitalize the offense, you will discover that the rate of kidnapping will be more than when the offense carries a death penalty. So I think it will go a long way deterring those who are involved in it. But I must add here that just enacting the law will not be sufficient. Our teeming youth, population who are jobless must be catered for. The government must also take, definite steps to provide job for the jobless, so that the youths who have come out from university and who are looking for something to do will get legitimately engaged. But if you realize the offense of kidnapping was becoming very lucrative, people were beginning to abandon their legitimate ventures and then go into kidnapping because they see it as an easy way of making money.
Let me comment here quickly.
The law will certainly deter those who are involved in it, but the government must make sure that, yes.
Let me come in here quickly because we're really out of time.
Yes,
if you look at the success rate of what the police and security agencies have gotten so far, it would seem as if there is a level of development that they have been able to attain. What would you be saying? Are you satisfied with security operatives on the fight against kidnapping, as we've seen some arrests being made lately?
Certainly, they have been doing a tremendous work in this direction. Our officers have become more professional than ever before, and they've been able to track down some of these hoodlums who are engaged in these criminal activities. They are doing very well, and I think they need the support of every one of us. The police cannot do it all alone. Like I always said, it is the responsibility of everybody to ensure the safety of ourselves. So we must assist the police, give them the required information, the required tips, so that they can achieve greater feat. But so far, so good. They are doing a very great job. I think they should be commended for that.
So how do you match up the equipment at the disposal of the security operatives and the kingpins?
Yes, well, it's one thing to have arms and ammunition in your possession. It's another thing to have the skill to operate them effectively. Of course, the security agents are trained in the manipulation of these equipment. So whether the adversary, they have equal match in this regard or not, of course, the security agents will have an upper hand because they have been trained in the manipulation of those equipment. So they stand on a better position.
Before we go, I'd like to get this from you. What would you be saying to Nigerians to be on the watch and see how best they can also help in stem the tide of kidnapping? What should we be doing as individuals and families?
Yes, everybody must be his brother's keeper. We must collaborate and partner with the law enforcement agents to make sure that our society is safe. Yes, the laws are there, that they could be deterring to some extent, but every one of us, every Nigerian has a responsibility to make sure that we assist the law enforcement agents in terms of intelligence, in terms of information, and all that they need to carry out the implementation of these laws.
Marvel Akpoibo, we would like to thank you very much for speaking with us this evening on State of the Nation. Well, it's a wrap on the show this evening. We thank you very much for being such nice company. Before we go, quickly here, the question many have been asking is to the Nigerian Customs Service and the government of the day. How well and how effective are the scanners in our ports and so many other places, perhaps even in our airports? I hope that this will be something that will give some cause of worry for those in authorities. That's a wrap on the show. Many thanks for watching.